4, 3.
Welcome to the Municipality of Thames Centre regular council meeting, Monday, July 12th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Before I call the meeting to order, I just want to say that July 16th will be a date that we're all looking forward to, step of roadmap to reopening. It's certainly welcome news, especially to our local businesses and our recreation facilities. It's always been a numbers game, and the numbers are improving. Over 16.6 million doses have been administered province-wide, and over 50% of this is a second dose. It's certainly something to celebrate, but as always, we must respect the regulations in place regarding masking and physical distancing. Our health officials are keeping a close eye on the variants that are developing. At Thames Centre and the County of Middlesex, we are working hard to provide pop-up vaccination clinics that provide people a chance to walk in and get vaccinated. More information on these upcoming clinics can be found on the Middlesex London Health Unit website. In 21 days, the province will be reassessing, and if it's all good, most of our safety measures will be lifted. And I'm sure that's a great relief to us all. So keep up the good fight, everybody. Be vigilant, and we'll be enjoying the fall even more when things are opened up again. So I'm going to call this meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Thank you. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Councillor Patterson?
Yes, Mayor Warwick, on the June 28th meeting, the last meeting, there was item number 5.2, which is the Integrity Commissioner's report. I have a conflict of interest, being that I'm the subject of that report.
Okay, so noted. Anybody else? Seeing none. Moving on to announcements. And I think we have an announcement regarding our latest thing. Deputy Mayor Elliott.
Yes, Your Worship. The Special Events Committee, as of last Friday, has launched Tour Thames Centre, a program in which we are hoping to promote the local businesses across Thames Centre. So you would have seen signs pop up outside some of our local businesses that signed up. And a special thank you to the Parks and Recreation staff who were able to get all those signs up for us. And there are maps on Thames Centre's website as well as social media. And we just encourage residents to go out and support your local businesses. If you take a selfie or a picture in front of those businesses and that sign, you can post it on your social media using the hashtag #TourThamesCentre. And we'll be doing draws at the end of each month for gift cards to those local businesses as prizes for supporting.
Great, thanks. And I think the signs went out over the weekend, so it looks like a fun contest that we'll be doing for the summer. So I look forward to seeing how everybody sends their pictures in, and a great promotion for Thames Centre businesses. In the consent agenda, actually before I go on, does anybody else have any announcements they want to make? Okay, seeing none. Consent agenda. The items listed under the consent agenda are routine and may require discussion, but no action on the part of council. Consent items are received for information in one motion. Council members may request that one or more item be removed for further action. Council, is there any item that you would like removed to discuss separately? Okay, so we have one motion here, is that the regular council minutes of June 2021 be adopted as presented. Looking for a mover. Deputy Mayor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? Okay. Now we have the consent agenda items 5.2 to 5.6 be received and filed. That's the regular council minutes, quarterly department reports, Thames Centre Special Events Committee minutes from April 7th, March 3rd, and May 5th, and the Middlesex London Health Unit monthly update, June 2021. Looking for a mover. Councillor Hunter, seconded by Councillor Patterson. All in favor? So moved. Next into department reports. The first one we have is PWDR 00921, which will be the Gorley Drain, Branch F, request for improvement. And I see Mr. Pitt has appeared on the screen, so I think he's going to take this report. Welcome, Travis.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good afternoon, councillors. On June 24th, we received a request for improvement. This request it's a small one. It's roughly about 180 meters of open ditch. The landowner is looking to enclose this stretch of open channel through their property to gain some land back. Typically, these would have heavy involvement from the Upper Thames in getting all the proper approvals, and we'll continue to operate that way. Other than that, that's all I have for this one. If you have any questions, I'm here to help.
Any questions regarding this drainage improvement? Nope, seeing none. So we have a recommended motion in front of us that the report be received for information, that the request be received and adopted, and the recommendation that Mr. DeVos from Street Associates be appointed the engineer to investigate, prepare the necessary drainage report. So looking for a mover. Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor? Okay, so moved. Now, 6.2, thanks, Travis. 6.2 is F01021, development charge interest, and I see our finance guru here. So, Ms. Grogan, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Your Worship. And through you, the purpose of this report is to establish a development charge interest policy to address interest-related changes to the Development Charges Act. Those changes include the freezing of rates for developments with site plan or zoning amendment applications, as well as the deferral of the collection of DCs for certain types of development. The policy recommendations include a recommended DC freeze interest rate, a recommended DC deferral interest rate, with an exception to coordinate with our strategic plan objective, which is the promotion of attainable housing, including affordable housing options. So we've included a recommendation for that exclusion, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Council have any questions regarding this report? Okay, seeing none, then we have a motion that report F1021 regarding development charge interest be received for information, and that development charge interest policy CBB 1.1 be approved. Looking for a mover. Deputy Mayor Elliott. Seconded by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? Okay. And now we have F1121 2020 development charge report. And again, Ms. Grogan, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you again, and through your worship. The purpose of this report is to provide development charge transaction summaries for the 2020 year. As discussed by our municipal auditor at the time of presentation of our 2020 financial statements, development charge balances have increased over the course of 2020 as the direct result of borrowing a total of $7.5 million, which is related to wastewater projects. Of that $7.5 million, $6.95 million relates to the replenishment of our development charges funding deficit that was established in our wastewater category. At this point, I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Okay, Council, any questions regarding this report? Okay, thank you for, it's a very extensive report, and thank you for getting that together for us. We have a motion in front of us that report F1121 regarding 2020 development charge report from the Director of Financial Services Treasurer dated July 12, 2021 be received for information. So looking for a motion, Councillor Hunter, seconded by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? Okay. And now we have the mayor's report. So bear with me. June 16th, I attended the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority meeting. June 17th, I was chaired my first South Central Transit meeting where strategies were discussed for transit in rural areas. Shortly after this, on June 28th, the provincial government announced that we are extending funding up to $14 million over 2 years to communities providing transportation services through the Community Transportation Grant, which is, again, Thames Centre is affected by that. So that's a welcome announcement, especially with all the people that are planning on these things. It gives them a little bit more job security for the next 2 years. On June 22nd, I attended the County Council meeting. Highlights of that meeting were the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan presented, as well as a homeless prevention and housing plan update and priorities. June 25th, I was able to attend in person an award for the Senior of the Year, which was won by Frank Flannery for his volunteer duties. And it was a very nice afternoon as we spent working at the strawberry takeout that happened in Thorndale and Dorchester. And it was very well attended in both communities. The same day, I set up camp here at the township office from 4 to 7, and I handed out Canada Day sparklers. So there was lots of chatting to be done. And again, it's nice to see everybody in person. The Dorchester and Thorndale Lions Club also deserve a thank you for handing out sparklers in both communities on Saturday, the 26th of June. On June 30th, I was excited to attend another in-person event where I presented the Thames Centre resident Bob Broughton with the Sovereign Award for volunteering. This is the highest medal awarded to volunteers in Canada, and it's quite an achievement. Congratulations also to Marnie Broughton, who was awarded the Silver Acorn Award for Scouting. Both Bob and Marnie are heavily involved in Camp Bell and are the driving force for many events at Camp Bell. June 7th, we chaired a special events meeting where plans for Tour Thames Centre were announced. And June 8th, I met with the county engineer regarding discussions about speed control in our hamlets. And June 9th, again, it was my pleasure to assist at the vaccination clinic held at the Flight Exec Center from 11 to 4, where 297 doses were administered, including a number of 12-year-olds for their first vaccine. And thanks to Steve McDonald and his staff for enabling that so quickly. And again, it was a very smooth, well-run event. So thanks to the health unit for making our community safer by hosting these events. Now we have any unfinished business, looking to see if we've got anything. Don't see anything. Now we have a notice of motion. Councillor Heeman, would you like to present your notice of motion?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. June 21st was Canada's National Indigenous Peoples Day, and it was an opportunity to learn, share, and celebrate the distinct contributions of Indigenous peoples. Like many individuals of European descent, I have taken this time of national reflection to listen, learn, and support the voices of the Indigenous community. That is the motivation behind today's motion, to continue the process of reconciliation, recognition, and appreciation. I would like to share some new awareness that I have gained about our Indigenous peoples and Thames Centre, in the hope that it may foster a deeper understanding of our local history. In the darkest hours of the War of 1812, which actually there is a really great resource on the National Indigenous Peoples Day website with the Government of Canada about the War of 1812. When the Americans had taken control of Lake Erie, Chief Tecumseh and Major General Isaac Brock joined forces to take a stand and defend their respective homelands. Chief Tecumseh took his final stand outside of Moraviantown near current-day Thamesville, where there is a large memorial turtle shell to commemorate him. This leadership and courage secured the retreat of the combined defense force. Canada's southern borderland, where we call home, was delivered by First Peoples fighting not to secure the north edge of the Great Lakes, but their traditional territories in Ohio and upstate New York to the south. They fought for a promise over 200 years ago that would protect their homelands outside of Canada. the 1814 peace agreement in Ghent did not uphold this agreement. Tecumseh's last stand bought the time for Colonel Talbot to escape American raiders set on his capture and demise. As we well know, Colonel Talbot later led the developments of Elgin, St. Thomas, London, and much of Middlesex, including North Dorchester, the roads and properties many of us call home. Missouri, in First Peoples language, means a place of large canoes, or the wooden canoe people, or they of the big canoe. I find this particularly interesting as someone who grew up on Missouri Road and spent almost my entire life on that street. And until recently, I had no understanding of what it meant. Not until looking back many, many generations, I think, will we have a true understanding of where we live and what it has taken to build lives together on this continent. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Heeman, for that well thought out presentation. And we do have some resolutions here that Thames Centre supports June 21st, Indigenous Peoples Day, as an opportunity for all Canadians to recognize and celebrate the unique heritage, diverse cultures, and outstanding achievements of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. And be it further resolved that Thames Centre supports National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, September 30th, as it honors survivors, their families, and communities. It will also ensure that public commemoration of the tragic and painful history and legacy of residential schools remains a vital component of the reconciliation process. And be it further resolved that Thames Centre supports the development of a statutory holiday or holidays to reinforce the significance of each respective day with regional, provincial, federal, and Indigenous partners. And further that this motion be forwarded to the County of Middlesex, the Associations of Municipalities of Ontario, Premier Doug Ford, MP Karen Vecchio, and MPP Jeff Urick. All right, so we have that motion in front of us. Looking for a mover. Okay, Councillor Heeman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor?
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes,
Work.
certainly. Yep.
With respect to our friends with the Chippewas, the Oneida, and the Muncie, Delaware, have they been consulted regarding this motion, and do they support it? And yeah, do they support this motion? So I don't know if they've been consulted or not.
Councillor Heeman, do you have any comments on that?
Yes, so both of these national holidays were made in conjunction with national Indigenous groups, and the motion has wording such to work with them specifically. So they have not been consulted at this time, as I cannot speak individually on behalf of the entire municipal corporation.
Thank you. Any other questions, Councillor Patterson?
Yeah, second question, in regards to the statutory holiday that you speak of in this motion, we know that there's approximately 14.8 million full-time workers who make an average of $26.83 an hour. So if we make one statutory holiday, that equates to $1.48 billion in cost to businesses in Canada. And the effective tax rate on the average tax rate for those workers is 25% in income taxes, which equates to about $370 million that the federal government and the provincial government will increase their revenues. So my question to Councillor Heeman, is there a plan by the federal government and the Ontario government to use that $370 million to support Indigenous projects like infrastructure projects for water or education initiatives or anti-poverty or mental health type projects? Is there a plan for them to use that $370 million?
I think Councillor Heeman, if you want to address that, but I also note that it is supporting the development of the statutory holiday. I don't think that it's anything written in stone.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think there's two two separate holidays. One is currently national holiday, but not recognized as statutory. And the second one actually just received royal assent to be a federal statutory holiday. So that would only apply to federally regulated industries. With respect to Councillor Patterson's question about resources that have been supplied by the federal government, I believe that specific, I believe C5 does have some additional support to create education resources, and also I think some economic development surrounding it as well. But those details would be better laid out on the federal website than I could detail here. And I think that it is an important point to acknowledge that any holiday does have an economic contribution, but I think that there's also an equally large documentation that productivity does go up in times when there is a 4-day week. And so I don't think there is the same impact on the economy. However, I do think if it's a holiday or a statutory holiday provincially, then that would also have support for wage earners' income. So it wouldn't affect workers, but it would give them the ability to spend the time in reflection and appreciation. I think is the two different proposals outline.
Go ahead, Councillor Patterson.
Yeah, and I think companies are happy to pay their workers, and of course, workers want to earn more. So that's really great. It just, you're asking us to have faith in the federal and provincial governments to actually use that money to support the Indigenous people, and specifically our friends, the Chippewas, the Oneida, and the Munsee Delaware nations. So I guess we're taking a leap of faith that they'll actually make that happen.
Yeah. If I may, I think it's a good point to recognize that there needs to be concrete action in addition to dialogue and support. And I think by having this recognition of these 2 days, then that doesn't allow this to slip into the past, and each day would become a point where that conversation is maintained, and that those conversations about what is needed can continue well after this year. But it is obviously well up to the provincial and federal government.
Councillor Patterson, go ahead.
Sorry, you've already called a seconder, right? So
We've had a mover and a seconder, and now we've had discussion. Is there any more discussion before I call the vote? Oh, okay, all in favor? Okay,
actually,
thank you.
Mayor, can I ask for a recorded vote?
Sure.
Sorry, maybe a little late on that, but
No, never too late.
No, through your worship, it's okay.
Yep.
I will call everyone. Deputy Mayor Elliott,
In favor.
Councillor Heeman,
In favor.
Councillor Hunter,
In favor.
Councillor Patterson,
in favor.
Mayor Warwick,
In favor.
Carrie.
Carried. Great. Any new business? No, seeing none, then we're going to move into closed session pursuant to section 2392B of the Municipal Act, being personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees regarding committee appointments. So I'm looking for a mover to go into closed session. Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor? Okay, and for anybody watching, the live stream will continue after the closed session portion has been completed. So I guess Sarah's going to let us know when we're ready to go. Okay, welcome back. We're back into open session again. And we are, sorry, I lost my sheet of paper. During closed session, council discussed personal matters regarding committee appointments. There is a recommended motion. The recommended motion is that council appoint the following community representatives to the local school advisory committee. And the names for those are Laura Campo, Lindsay Lake, Rebecca Wallace, and Taylor Reiners. So looking for a motion. Councillor Heeman, seconded by Councillor Patterson. All in favor? So moved. Now into bylaws. So the bylaw should be that the recommended motion that bylaw 58, 2021 and 59, 2021 be approved as presented, not prevented. Bylaw 58, 2021 being a bylaw authorizing the execution of a subdivision agreement, boardwalk at Mill Pond Phase 2, and 13.2, 59, 2021 being a confirmatory bylaw. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Hunter. All in favor?
I have a question, sorry.
Certainly, go ahead.
For the boardwalk partnership, down at the bottom, I forget what schedule it is, but there's numbers about assets and they've been left blank. And I don't understand why that is. I'm sorry, I don't remember the page number.
Okay, I bet you our director of planning could tell us right off the bat without even knowing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Your Worship. So Councillor Patterson is referring to page 149 of 151 of the agenda. And simply put, that's a form that the developer's engineer has to fill out. It is intentionally left blank, but that's a form that includes the format that we're looking for in terms of breakdown of those particular assets that the municipality will eventually assume. If there's any further questions, I'm here to answer those.
Any further questions? Okay, so a mover for the bylaws as presented. Oh, we've already done that. We already have a mover and a seconder, didn't we? Okay, so I'm just calling the motion now. So all in favor? Great, thank you. Now our next meeting is Monday, August 9th at 1 p.m. So I look forward to everybody attending that and enjoy the month in between. So now I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Hunter, seconded by Deputy Mayor Elliott. All in favor? Councillor Patterson, do you have a comment or are you just in favor?
Just in favor.
Okay, thank you. I was going to thought you were going to wish us a happy summer or something like that. All right. Okay, so we adjourn.